Hello, how are you doing?
Fine.
Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to our B120 class. Okay, what did we cover in our last class? Of book?
Book 4, Session 3.
Book 4, Session 3. Book 4 is about?
Understanding.
Book 4 in general is about? Marketing. Okay, and Session 3 of Book 4 is about what?
Understanding consumption. Understanding customer
Listen.
and consumption.
Excellent. Excellent. Understanding consumption and customers. And in this session, we studied what we mean by consumer behavior, right? And we covered different types of consumer buying behavior and business buying behavior as well, if you remember. Okay? Today, inshallah, we will finish Book 4. So we have to cover today 2 sessions. Session 4 of Book 4 and Session 5 of Book 4. Okay? Session 4 is about the marketing mix. The marketing mix. How should we start? By? Aims. Excellent. Okay. Aims and objectives of Session 4. Explain the concept and the elements of the marketing mix. Contrast different types of products, including physical goods and services. You need to know the difference between physical goods or physical products and services, okay? Explain the key features of the product life cycle and the new product development. We have something that's called product life cycle. What do you mean by product life cycle? What do you mean by a new product development? How to develop a new product, okay? Contrast different approaches to pricing and explain some typical methods of pricing for a strategic effect. So the issue of pricing different products and services will be covered in this session. Okay? Explain distribution channels and who their members are. Explain the different elements of marketing communications and how they are commonly used. What do you mean by marketing communication? Okay? Consider some common ethical issues related to elements of the marketing mix. Usually ethics are there. In every topic we study, we have to cover the ethical issue, the ethical aspect. And finally, explain why services marketing is different from goods marketing and the marketing mix for services. Okay? What do you think about these aims? Very deep, right? Very interesting topic. Let's start? Okay. Marketing mix. When I say marketing mix, what comes to your mind? Have you ever heard about marketing mix? Yeah. What do you mean by marketing mix? Product? Place? Promotion? Price. Excellent. How did you know that? Okay, we covered this. We covered this where? In book 1, Session 6, when we had an introduction about the marketing business function. So we covered the 4 P's and the 7 P's, if you remember. And we said that the 4 P's are for physical products and the 7 P's are for services. But today, inshallah, we will cover the marketing mix in detail, okay? In detail. So let's start. The marketing mix is more than just a set of techniques employed by marketing managers. However, these techniques are important in that marketers must try to design an offering which will appeal to customers. This offering is the marketing mix. So the marketing mix is an offering, right? We talk about offering. Which product to offer to the market or to the customers? At which price? Through which channels? Okay? And how to promote the product. How to encourage customers to buy the product. These are the 4 P's. Products, price, promotion, and place. Okay? So the interaction of these 4 elements is what we call an offering. This is what you offer to any customer, right? You offer him or her a product at specific price through specific channels, right? And encouraging them to get the product by using some promotional tools or techniques, right? Okay? Answer me, okay? Okay, all right. All right, so the marketing mix includes the following elements: product, pricing, distribution, which is place, marketing communications, which is promotion. Okay? All right. Let's take them one by one. Products can be described as a bundle of benefits. You remember that? Usually in marketing, we said when we think or when we talk about any product, it's not about the physical shape of the product, right? It's about the benefits the consumer gets out of this product, right? And we said a car it's not about the physical shape of the car, it's about the transportation service this car provides me with as a customer, about the security issue when I feel while I'm driving my own car, right? And so on. So it's about any product. When we think about products, we think about them in terms of the benefits they provide customers with. So products usually can be described as bundle of benefits. This means that it is not usually the actual product itself which is important to customers, but what it will do for them. What it will do for them. This is what we care about. And for example, mobile phone, the mobile phone, it's not about the physical shape of the mobile phone, it's about thinking of the mobile phone as a means of staying in touch with others, with friends, with family, with partners, and so on. Okay? So this is how we should think. When you, as a marketeer, decide to offer a specific product to your customers, you need to think about the benefits that this product will provide them with, okay? This is how you decide on offering different products in terms of benefits. And here we have 3 levels of product benefits, 3 levels of product benefits. And here in this figure, they are very clear. We have here the core benefits in the middle. This is the first level, okay, the core benefit. Then the second level is about the actual product benefit. And the last one, which is the third, is the augmented product benefit level, okay? Let's take them one by one. All right. The core benefit is the main benefit of the product. The main benefit, the core benefit of the car is what? Yes, from destination A to destination B, from home to university, from work to university, and so on, from one place to another, right? This is the main benefit. So this is the core benefit of the car. For example, if we take a car as an example here in this case, okay? Okay, so this is what we mean by the core benefit. Do all cars provide consumers with this benefit? Do all cars provide consumers with this benefit? Sure. Except if it is obsolete. Okay, out of service. All right. So all cars can provide consumers with the core benefit, right? Okay. Then as a marketeer offering a new car to your customers, how to distinguish your car from competitors' cars? Through what? Through having different levels of benefits, right? Through adding more features to the car. In terms of 2 other levels, the actual product level, which is about what? The actual product has product features and characteristics in addition to the core benefit. So the features and characteristics you add to the product in addition to the core benefit, this is what we mean by the actual product level of benefits, okay? All right, for example, packaging, features, styling, quality, brand name, all these things are additional features, additional characteristics you as a marketeer add to your product so that you differentiate and distinguish your product from others, okay? Other competitors' similar products. You got that? So this way, you decide to get Toyota instead of Hyundai, for example, because of the second level of the benefit, which is the actual product. Okay? Because both of them will provide you with the same core benefit, right? Okay. All right. What about the third level? This, as a marketeer, you need to consider the third level as well, because it adds more and more to your product. It differentiates your product better than competitors' similar product. Level 3 is the augmented product benefits. Okay. May include after-sale services, installation, delivery and credit, and warranty. Okay, do you offer after-sale services or not? Okay, as a business, do you offer the after-sale services? Okay, do you offer warranty? Do you offer warranty? So if you have any problem, production, if the product has any defects, okay, so you have a warranty period, and this might be a year, 6 months. It depends on the type of the product itself. And during this warranty, during this period, you can return the product back. You can get repair and maintenance for free, and so on. All these things. Okay. So installation. Do the company, you purchase the machine, will the company install the machine for you? Set it up for you, or you will do this on your own? All these are services that the customers care about, right? Okay, some customers will not buy this equipment or this machine because they don't want to get into the hassle of installing it, of setting it up, right? So they would like to get somebody specialized in this to do it on their behalf. So the third level is very important. As a marketeer, how to guarantee that your product has these 3 levels of benefits, and that the customers perceive that the product provides them with the 3 levels of benefits. Okay? You understand what we mean by products now? Any questions about this? Any questions? Okay, very good. So now we know what we mean by products, okay? And products are a bundle of benefits, and we know the 3 levels of product benefits: core, actual, and augmented. Easy? Okay, very good. Then we have what's called product life cycle. Products like us, like human beings, they are born, they grow, and they decline. Okay? So it has a life cycle. The product has a life cycle? Yes, it has. It has a life cycle. This is the truth. Who does not believe that? Okay, convinced? Let's see. All right. Products go through a life cycle like any other human being, okay? This means that they are launched as if they are born. When you launch a new product, okay, at some point, and after a time of growth and maturity, they eventually decline and become obsolete. After some time, after a while, it depends on the type of the product, it depends on the industry, it depends on the market. It might take the product 30 years to decline. It might take 6 months to decline, and so on. Like in which industries? Which industries that like some products that we have, these products are characterized by having very short product life cycle. Like what? Like what? Think about it. Rapidly changing. Mass?
Mass.
You mean by mass? Mass?
No. In another way, it's called coin.
Coin?
This is kind of cereal crop. Cereal? Yes.
Cereal?
Kind of cereal crop, yes.
Cereal crop? Okay, and how did you say that it has a short life cycle?
Yeah, because it takes only 2 months to grow.
Uh-huh.
And then it can finish. You have to do it again.
Okay, but it's the same product again.
Same product.
No, I'm talking here about a product that declines, so you will not be able to use it again because it is obsolete. You have to offer a new one. You got that? Like software. Different software. Okay, today, software industry. Today, this is a very advanced software. Tomorrow, after 2 weeks, after 6 months, they use a totally different new technology, right?
You can use all those.
Sometimes, yes, but all the time we have some updates. Sometimes they just get away from the old technology and use a newer one. Okay, sometimes it's only just updating the software. Sometimes no, they develop something new. Okay, so let's go through the phases of the product life cycle. We have here 5 phases for any product. Any product has 5 phases in its life cycle. The first phase is product development. The second one is introduction. Okay, so product development, when you develop the product. Okay, the second one is introduction, when you introduce it to the market. Okay, thirdly, growth, when the product grows and people start to know about this product, starting buying the product. Then maturity, now it's well known, okay, and most of people already purchased this product, and accordingly, the last one is the eventual decline. Eventual decline, because the market is full of this product and nobody else would like to get this product anymore. So it declines. Let's go through them one by one. Here is the diagram or the figure. Here we have the introduction. First of all, of course, we have the development of the product itself. Then we introduce it into the market. At this stage, very few people know about the product, right? Very few. For this reason, we have here we have the sales. Like on the y-axis, we have the sales. And on the x-axis, we have time. Okay? So at this stage, the sales are very limited. Why? Because at the introduction stage, only very few people know about the product. And even if more people know or get to know about the product, they will not trust to purchase the product. They will not trust it. They need to hear from others who tried it already, right? So they will wait. They will wait until they listen to other consumers who already tried the product, okay? So this is what we have here in the introduction phase. Then, when people hear about the product and they become more aware of the product, then they will start buying the product. For this reason, we have the growth phase in which the sales increase. Okay, so here is an increase in sales. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, now, most of people purchased the product already, right? Which means that the growth in sales will stop at a specific point of time, which we call the maturity phase. The maturity phase. Most of people in the market already purchased the product. And at the same time, competitors started to offer similar products to compete with you. Okay? Which means that because of these 2 reasons, most people got the product already, and some people will shift to competitors' similar products, the sales will get down again, which is the declining phase. The decline phase. Okay? This is the product life cycle. And because of this, marketers need to be innovative and creative, and they need to know to get new ideas for new products all the time. Because even when they have a current product now, they know for sure that this product will decline sooner or later. So they need to offer a new one after a period of time. Okay? Some companies, what they do is like that. When the product takes its life cycle in one of the countries, they offer the product in another country to start a new life cycle. Usually this happens with products in the developed countries. In America, in the States, in European countries, they offer the product, and when the product life cycle is almost in the declining phase, they start to offer it in the developing countries. So when we have foreigners in our countries, in the Arab world here, some foreigners, they say, okay, we had this product long time ago in our country, in our home country, right? So this is one of the ways. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Doesn't this happen? Okay, so it's an idea to give the product a chance to start a new product life cycle in another place. In another place. It happens like that. Okay, is it clear about the product life cycle? Okay, so let's go through these. This is what we explained on the diagram. You need to know how to explain the product life cycle. You need to know how to draw the diagram of a product life cycle. Okay? Yes, you need to know how to draw, to explain it, and how to support your answer by drawing the diagram. Okay? So, all right. After a new product has been developed, now you develop the new product, and is first introduced to the market, sales may grow slowly initially as not many people know about the product. You remember that? Okay. So, and this is the introduction stage here. As the product becomes better known, now more people know about the product, sales may grow rapidly until they tend to level off during the maturity phase. Okay, so here we have the growth phase because people started to know about the product, and then it levels off until it reaches the maturity phase. Better known, so growth in sales, then until it reaches maturity. Okay, very good. When many potential target customers have already bought it and more competitors introduce similar products. All right, this is what we said. Eventually, the sales of many products decline as most customers already have them and the new substitute products are introduced. So we get this decline phase. Okay? Easy? All right, very good. So now you understand what we mean by the product life cycle. You understand what we mean by products in general. Okay, the three levels of benefits of any product. Okay, the last point when we talk about products in marketing mix, the last point in this issue is about the new product development. How to develop a new product. How to develop a new product. Now, taking into consideration that any product will pass through the declining phase, it's essential for any business to offer and develop new products, right? Or not? Now, if the product decline, then no market for it. Yes. Either you develop new product or you get out of the market. Yes. Right? Why don't you answer me? Only Simon answers. Only Simon understands the product life cycle? No. Answer! Okay, so it's very important to develop new products. Of course. Who does not agree? Okay, all right. So here, the concept of the product life cycle suggests that most products will eventually decline. All right, this is a strong reason why businesses constantly want to develop new products. By logic, okay? All right, and here, Crawford in 1991 proposed a model. This model includes 6 steps of introducing or developing new product. What are these steps? 6 steps of developing new products. The first step, or step number 1, is new product planning. Step number 2, idea generation. Step number 3, idea screening and evaluation. Step number 4, technical development. Step number 5, market appraisal. And finally, step number 6, launch. Let's take them one by one. New product planning. What do you mean by new product planning? To plan. To plan. What do you mean by new product planning? Now you plan. Yes, how to plan? In order to prepare a plan for the future, you need to know your current position, right? Okay, so when we talk about offering or planning for developing new products, you need to know about the weaknesses and the strengths of your current products, right? This is the first step to do. Now you need to know about if your current product satisfies customers or not. What are the weaknesses and the strengths of your current product, okay? What are the threats that you might encounter from competitors? And accordingly, you start to plan for your future launching, for your future new product developments, right? Okay, so new product planning, a business looks at the current products, how well they are performing, okay? And where the marketing environment poses threats to existing products and opportunities for new products. What are the threats? What are the opportunities for new products? This is what we mean by product planning, okay? Then the second step now, provided that you are done with the first step, the second step is idea generation. Idea generation. Which product, which new product to offer? This is what we mean by idea generation. Do you have any ideas for new products to offer to the market? It's a very important question. This is the second step here. We need to come up with new ideas for new products. Okay? Products that will enable you as a business to deal with the threats and to capture opportunities based on your product planning. Clear? Okay, so idea generation, specific ideas for new products are generated and collected from whom? I can't hear you. Listen to each other. Through what? Group discussion? Group. You mean, what do you mean by group discussion? Who are these groups? Workers can be a source. In Japan, workers come up with 95% of the ideas of new products. Workers in factories. Okay? Who else? Brainstorming, you are right. With whom? Only workers and employees, or we have some other sources? Who are you trying to satisfy? Customers, of course, yes. Customers. Okay, so you can get ideas, generate ideas, and collect ideas from your employees, from the internal environment of the company, and from the external environment from customers, right? Okay, so specific ideas for new products are generated and collected, perhaps through group discussion techniques such as brainstorming, okay? With employees, with workers, with customers, with different stakeholders, but still you need to come up with new ideas. This is step number 2, okay? Step number 3, idea screening and evaluation. Now you have 5 ideas. Sorry, you have 100 ideas. Which one to implement? Which one to adopt? Which idea to take and start developing new product based on? Which one? You need to screen all of the ideas, right? Evaluate them, because now you have alternatives. You have different ideas for different new products, right? So you need to evaluate, screen them, start going through these ideas, reading about them, discussing them, all these things. Evaluate them. Which alternative is better? Evaluation includes a lot of things, a lot of aspects, financially and non-financially. Okay? All right. You remember your team A, the feasibility study that you conducted in the team A. Wasn't this a kind of evaluation of the new product development? Wasn't this? Yes, partially yes. Partially yes. Okay. So here, the ideas generated in the previous step are examined for their feasibility and marketability. Are they feasible financially and non-financially? Are they marketable? This is very important. Okay? Then the technical development. Now we decided on one of the ideas, and you will start designing the product. You need to get your R&D, research and development team in your business to start to prepare a prototype for the product. Design it. Working on this. Okay? So the technical aspects of the product are investigated and a prototype is developed. Now we get a prototype. This is the initial design of the product. Initial design of the product. Now you know that you would like to offer a car, but what about how to design it? Which features to include in? Okay? All these related to the technical design. Okay? All right. Then step number 5, market appraisal. In market appraisal, the market research is carried out to assess whether the product would be successful in the market. So what they do that they conduct market research, they conduct surveys or questionnaires with a sample of expected or potential customers. Okay? Sometimes they take the prototype of the product to the market so that they can ask customers if they like it, if they do not like it, what they think. They ask for their feedback and so on. Okay? And this is in this step what we mean by market appraisal. Afterwards, they go back with the customer's feedback, okay, and starting to conduct all the necessary modifications on the prototype, starting to produce the product and launch it to the market. Okay? So the launch is the last step. The product is produced finally and offered in the market. So how many steps do we have to develop a new product? 6 steps. Okay. What are they? Huh? Okay. Excellent. Okay. Technical development. Huh? And launch. Okay. Very good.
This time you try to repeat the number 4, technical development.
Yes, I can repeat it for you, sure. Okay. You did not listen to me while I was explaining it. It seems like that. You were okay. For last time. All right. All right. The technical development. Now, okay. You decided you had, as I told you, you came up with 100 ideas, okay? And then in step number 3, which is idea screening and evaluation, you have different ideas for different products. And based on the evaluation of these different ideas, you decided to produce a car. This is one of the ideas, okay? One of them is producing a car, offering a car to the market, okay? So you decided to produce this car. But how to design this car? What to do? Do you think that whenever you decide on just producing a car, you will produce it directly, or you need to have a team, which we call research and development team, that will work on the design of the car, the features of the car, and different aspects of this car, right? So this is what we mean by technical design. The technical aspects of the product are investigated and the prototype is developed. Now, I will ask my team, I'd like you to design a car for me. This car should have different features because you as a business know, or as a marketer, you have a general background or a general idea about customers' requirements and preferences. So you ask them to include different features in this car. They will start designing the car, provide you with initial design of the car, which we call a prototype. Is this the final version of the car or final model of the car that will be offered to the market? No, it's not. It's an initial design. This design then will be taken to the market, okay, to be tested with a sample of customers, which we call market appraisal, okay? We get their feedback and then we modify our prototype and get the final model that we'd like to offer to the market, then start producing and offering to the market, which we call the launch phase. Easy? Okay. All right. Any questions? Now, now we are talking about marketing mix. The first P in the marketing mix was product. Okay. In product, we covered what we mean by products, which is products can be described as a bundle of benefits. Okay. We covered the 3 levels of benefits, which are core benefits, actual, excellent, huh? Augmented, excellent. And then we covered what we mean by a product life cycle, along with its diagram or figure, okay? And finally, we covered the new product development model, which is 6-step model. Easy? Okay, this is concerning product, the first P.
So in case, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Sometime in exam they might say you have to mention and explain the four market mix.
You are right.
And when you're talking about the product, I don't think you can start from there up to here.
No, of course not.
Where are you going to stop?
You have to talk about a product as a bundle of benefits.
Okay.
Just a minute. Here, you have to discuss that product is a bundle of benefits, okay? And you have to discuss the 3 levels of products, okay? You can mention that the product has, any product has a life cycle, and that's it. If they ask you to discuss briefly the 4 Ps, okay? But you can get separate questions to discuss the 6th step of developing new products. This is a separate question. And you can get a separate question about the product life cycle. Then you need to explain in detail what we mean by product life cycle, to draw the diagram, and so on. Okay? All right? Then pricing, the 2nd P. I like this comment. This comment is in your book. The difference between getting the price right and getting it wrong can be the difference between being successful and going out of business. What do you think about this sentence? I like it very much. Again, the difference between getting the price right and getting it wrong can be the difference between being successful and going out of the business. It's very important. Pricing is a critical issue in the marketing mix. Critical. All the P's are very important, but this one, when we talk about money, usually it's very critical, okay? So let's go through the pricing topic. Okay. When we talk about pricing, we have different approaches to pricing that are adopted by different businesses. Now you are a marketeer, you decided on your product that you will offer to the market. Okay, how to price this product? A very important question. At which price will you offer this product to the market? Very important. So marketers or marketing management tells you that we have 3 different approaches to setting prices. The first approach is the cost-based pricing. The second one is the customer-based pricing. And the third one is the competition-based pricing. What is the difference between the 3 approaches? The first one, the cost-based pricing. When I say cost-based, what comes to your mind? Cost-based pricing. Cost-based pricing. A pricing that is based on costs, right? Cost of what? Cost of producing the product? Of selling the product? All the costs that... I'm sorry? The quality of the product? Okay, but you mean, of course, all these like are translated into cost at the end. Quality, brand name, whatever you have in this product is translated into money, right? Because you spend money to get this product produced and sold, right? So we have a total cost per unit for any product. When you produce a product, when you offer it to the market, you incur different costs, okay? So at the end, you have a total cost per unit of product. Then some companies decide to price their product based on this cost. What do? They add a fixed profit percentage. A fixed profit percentage. Assume that the product, the unit of this product, of product X, costs the company $100. Okay? If the company is following the cost-based approach, they will add a fixed profit percentage. Okay, the company decided to add 10% profit percentage. So they should offer it to consumers at which price? 10% of the cost. 10% in addition to the cost. The cost is how much? $100. I should write it to you. Okay, let's see. When we go to figures, everything is different. Okay, now what to say that the cost-based pricing means that you price the product based on the cost, okay? I'm saying that, assume that we have product X that is produced by any company, company ABC or whatever. So we have product X, okay? The cost per unit of product is $100. Clear? $100, okay. So, and the fixed profit percentage that the company would like to add to the cost is 10%. 10% of the cost. Then this means that the company should calculate 10% of the cost and add it to the cost to get the selling price. This means that the selling price per unit, selling price equals the $100, the cost, plus 10% of the cost. Right? 10% of 100 is how much? 10%, $10. So 100 plus $10, then the selling price per unit should be $110 per unit, right? Okay, agree? This is what we mean by cost-based pricing. Okay, let's go through it here. It is the least customer-driven pricing method. Why? Because they did not care about the willingness of the customer to pay or the willingness of the customer to pay this amount. What they care about is that they would like to cover their cost in addition to a fixed percentage of profit. Okay? For this reason, it is the least customer-driven method. They did not consider, in setting this price, they did not consider customers' willingness, customer wants. Okay? All right, so it is the least customer-oriented pricing method, and thus it is not compatible with the marketing orientation. It is not compatible with the marketing orientation because usually in marketing orientation we care about customers' needs, wants, satisfaction, and all these things. It is still used by many companies as costs are relatively easy to work out and more straightforward than customer-based pricing. Now, it's a direct method of calculating, of pricing products. Any business, when any business produces a product, they can identify accurately the cost per unit. They can do that. So this method is very easy. All what they do, that they identify the cost per unit and they add a fixed percentage of profit, and that's it. Okay? They do not need to go to the market and test and conduct surveys and questionnaires about customers' willingness of paying this amount of money. Okay? So it's a direct method, very simple, very simple. Okay? It works by adding, and this here is the critical issue, works by adding up all the costs of manufacturing and selling a product, and then adding a fixed profit percentage, as we did here. Okay? Why don't you answer me? Is it okay? Do you like pricing?
Yeah.
You should like pricing. It's very important. Okay? As marketers, you need to price your products. At which price should you offer your product? This is one of the approaches that you might consider when you start your job as a marketer. You might decide just to go to price your units based on costs. So the cost-based pricing, this is one of the approaches. The main problem in this approach is that it is the least customer-driven approach. The main advantages is that it is a direct and simple way of pricing products, and it guarantees fixed percentage of profit. Okay? All right. But who knows? Customers might not be willing to pay this price, right? So this is one of the problems of this method or this approach. Okay? The second approach is what? The second approach is the customer-based pricing. When we say customer-based, so we consider customers in our pricing strategy then, or our pricing approach. What does the company do? It is more in line with a marketing orientation, as it starts with customers' willingness to pay. How much is the customer willing to pay for this unit of product? How much? This is a very important question asked by the marketer. Okay? This does not mean that usually we will have less expensive products, because in some cases customers value our product, give very high value to the product, and are willing to pay a lot. It depends on how they value our products, okay? How willing they are to pay this amount of money. You got that? Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean offering the product at the lowest possible price. Not necessarily. But at a price that the customer considers good value, taking into account quality and the other product features. Okay? Now assume this product that the company considers to sell it for $110, okay? When they conducted surveys in the market, they discovered that customers are willing to pay $150 per unit. Because they give very high value to our product, okay? Then it's more profitable for the company to follow this one, the customer-based pricing approach then, right? Okay, so you understand what I mean? And on the other hand, when they assume that they conducted surveys, and they discovered that customers are willing only to pay $105 for the product, which means that the company will not be able to sell the product for $110. You got that? Okay. The third approach, competition-based pricing. Competition-based. This means we consider what? Competition. Competitors' prices of similar products, right? Excellent, very good. So it involves comparing the prices of all competing products and then setting the price of one's own product. Now you have similar products, okay, offered by competitors. You have a list of their prices, and then you decide on your own price. Okay? This is another approach. Another approach. Because you know what? Assume that you decided to sell the product for $110, but your competitor sells it for $107. Why should customers come to you and buy your product, leaving the competitor's product? Why? Right? So it's very important to consider competition and competitors' prices. Okay? All right. This may be lower than the competition if the business is competing on price. Now, we have some businesses competing on price. Some other businesses competing on other factors. Okay? If the business is competing on price, then they will try to offer the product at a lower price than the competitors' ones to compete. So, okay, the competitor offers the product at $107, I will offer it at $104 because they compete based on price. But some other companies compete based on what? On quality. So they are able to differentiate their product from the competitor's product, so still they offer their product within the range of the competition prices, of course, but it might be higher, not necessarily to be lower. Okay? Why? Because our product is not typically similar to competitors. We have higher quality, we have more features, and so on. And you are able to list these things and to raise the awareness of customers of these differences. So that customers will give higher value to your product and come and buy it. Okay? Although the competitors offers similar products at lower prices. In general, do you think that we can follow just one approach? If you decided, excellent, if you decided to follow the cost-based, okay, the customers might not, you will be covering your cost, but customers might not be willing to get the product at this price, okay? So you will not be selling anything. The competitors might be offering similar products with lower prices, so you will not be selling anything. So at the end, and if you followed the customer-based approach, and customers are willing only to buy the product at $100 or at $95, you will not be able to cover your cost. Right? You will not be able to cover your cost, which is a big deal, big problem. So you have a problem in your operations then. You need to be more innovative and more efficient in production so that you can produce the product with lower cost and meet customers' willingness of payment, right? And so on. So you have to consider all of them at the end. Although they are 3 different separate approaches, but still you need to consider all the aspects when you make the decision of pricing as a marketeer. Okay? Clear? Easy? Here, the last point in pricing is what we call pricing for strategic effect. Pricing for strategic effect. Okay, here we have 2 main points: the product line pricing and the psychological pricing. Sometimes you price to get a long-term effect. Strategic effect means that when we talk about strategic aspects, it is usually something in the long term, okay? So the product line pricing is the first point here, refers to the setting of prices within linked product groups. Because sometimes sales of one product is directly linked to sale of another product. When you sell one product, in order to sell one product, this is directly related to the selling of another product. Can you give me an example? Anything? Like when you sell one of the products, the sales is related to the sale of another product. They have direct relationship. In your book, they have the games and the game consoles. Okay? Yes, yeah, and the games. When they offer you the games with reasonable price, they will encourage you to buy the games, perhaps with higher price. Okay? All right? So this is what they mean here. So sometimes they price one of the product at reasonable price or lower price to encourage you to buy it, and then you will have to buy the other product which is very related to it. Okay? You got that? Okay. All right. So here, sales of one product are directly linked to sales of another product sometimes. Thus, it may be possible to sell one product cheaply in order to encourage more purchases of another product and hence achieve a higher sales volume. Easy? Easy? The other point here is related to the psychological pricing. Psychological pricing. All these points are related to strategic effect of pricing. Okay, this involves setting prices in such a way that they capture or encourage particular psychological effects in consumers. When I price the product at price X, I'm trying to encourage specific psychological effects in our consumers. Like what? Like when you price luxury products at high prices. This will drive consumers to feel that when they go and pay this amount of money, this product is very luxury, this product is with high quality, okay? If you priced it at a lower price, consumers might not get this feeling and might not come to buy the product, okay? So sometimes when you price the product, you might be able, cost-wise, you might be able to cover your cost and price the product at lower price. But the issue here is that when you set a lower price for this product, consumers will not feel that it is a high quality product, is a brand name product, it is, and so on. So they will not come and buy. But by setting a higher price for the product, you do what? You encourage particular psychological effects in consumers. So they come and buy the product. Okay? These are the 2 points. When we ask you to discuss the pricing in terms of the strategic effect, you need to cover these 2 points. Okay? Okay, so what did we cover in pricing up till now? Pricing, the second P. What did we cover so far? Go ahead.
The meaning of pricing.
The 3 approaches of pricing, excellent. Which are?
We have cost-based.
Excellent. Cost-based pricing, customer-based pricing, and competition-based pricing. And then we have what we call the pricing for strategic effect. 2 main points, product line pricing and psychological pricing. Easy? Any questions about this? You are okay? Okay, very good. Do you enjoy the marketing mix? It's nice, okay. So you as a marketer, you need to play with all these elements, okay? Which product, at which price, through which channels, and how to promote the product. Very important, very interesting, okay?
In cost based on prices here.
Yes.
Like here, there's Chinese companies now. They are open like a bit how much can you pay for this phone and this one?
Yeah.
If I try to compare these two, this one is maybe become a little bit cheap
Okay.
than this one.
All right.
But the quality is that the Chinese company, they are offering like what can you willing to pay, but this did not be, but the product cannot be very quality, you know, is that they can offer you this one, but it's not very good.
It's not with high quality.
Yes.
Okay.
But based on what you're willing to pay.
Based on what you are willing to pay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So you remember when we said that, not necessarily when we studied business orientations, different business orientation, we said that sometimes it's not the issue of having very high quality, it's the issue of having adequate quality, right? Sometimes it's about how customers perceive. What are the customers' requirements in this segment to which you sell? Okay, do they look for high quality products? Or go ahead.
Old people,
Yes.
they only need mobiles for calling.
Yes.
For games.
Yes, you are right. So it depends on the segment to which you sell. It depends on how they perceive which type of quality they look for, okay, and so on. But at the end, we need to satisfy our customers, okay? This doesn't mean like they are if they use the customer-based pricing and they see how willing the customer is to pay for this product, okay, then they follow this customer-based pricing. But provided that they satisfy the customers, not providing them with defected units or with products or units that will not stay for a long time as assumed, okay, then this is an unethical behavior if it is like that. You got it? So we need to differentiate. Is it a matter of just they investigated what the market really needs and they offer the adequate level of quality needed by the market or required by the market, or it's a matter of deceiving consumers, providing them a low quality product that will not work for the period of time that is supposed to work for. You got this? So it depends. All right? Here we have the unethical pricing practice. Okay. The last issue in pricing here. We have here, when we talk ethical issues in pricing, we have the unethical pricing practice and we have the predatory pricing. You remember this one? We covered before, yes. Okay. So the unethical pricing practice arises from the power difference between producers and consumers. Now we have a power of producers, and we have the power of consumers. Okay, so there is a difference between powers, 2 levels of power. Okay, if producers agree together, okay, that they will provide this product or offer this product at X price, consumers will do nothing, have nothing to do. They have to get the product and that's it. Okay? So sometimes the product can be offered at $10, but all competitors, all players of the market in this industry decide to offer it at 15, 16, okay? So the competition element here is not there. You understand me? So they are more powerful in this situation than the consumers. Consumers then will go and buy it, and that's it. So this is unethical behavior. It's unethical practice done by businesses then. Okay, this is one thing. The other thing is when we talk about predatory pricing, we covered this. Where did we cover this? You remember? In marketing. In marketing, which session? Yes. We did not cover it? I will kick you all out now. All of you. We covered it in session 2 of marketing. You remember when in session 2 we covered the marketing environment, and in marketing environment we studied different stakeholders. You remember? In the micro layer. And in the micro layer, we studied different aspects like customers, competitors, suppliers, and so on. And the ethical issues in dealing with these parties, this was one of the issues when we talk about competitors. We said that we have the pricing, the dirty tricks, okay, with competitors. And we said that we have what's called predatory pricing. The predatory pricing is when you, as a business, offer and sell your product in the market below cost. Why? With the only aim of just getting your competitors out of the market. Okay? Is this ethical? It's unethical. So as marketeers, when you do your pricing, do not do that. Avoid these practices. Please. Okay? Promise me that you'll do this. Okay, all right? All right, very good. Here we have the third one, the third element in the marketing mix, which is the distribution, or we call it sometimes place. If you have it in the exam, distribution, okay, place, okay. Both of them are okay. Okay? All right, so distribution. When we talk about distribution, how to make the product accessible to consumers, how to sell this product, how to deliver the product to our consumers, from the manufacturer to the consumers. Do we need intermediaries or directly from the producer to the consumer? It depends. It depends on the industry, on the product, on the budget, on different aspects. Okay? So let's go through it quickly. It is the third element in the marketing mix. This is the distribution channel, which is relating to the place where the product is sold. The distribution channel is related to the place where the product is sold. Very good. Okay. So distribution channels are the channels by which products are made available to their final customers. Again, distribution channels are what? Are the channels by which products are made available to their final customers. Okay? So how to make the product available to the final consumer? Okay? All right? When you as a consumer, you need to get a Galaxy chocolate bar. Where did you get it from? Do you go to the producer? You go to the supermarket. So this is the channel that the producer decided on, right? So how to make this product accessible to you as a consumer? This is the question here. Okay, this is the issue here. All right. At one level, this relates to the physical transportation and the storage of goods. This is one of the aspects when we talk about the channels. They also deal with transfer ownership of the goods, transferring the ownership of the good, which means when the producer sells to a wholesaler, now the ownership of the goods is with the wholesaler. When the wholesaler sells to the supermarket or the retailer, the ownership of the good is, who is the owner? The retailer, right? So it's about the distribution channel deals with the transfer of ownership, the transfer ownership of the goods, offer advice to customers, and they provide after-sale services. All these things are related to the distribution channels. Sometimes the manufacturers are not able to provide the after-sale services. Okay? The manufacturer is not able to do that. So it is done by one of the intermediaries in the channels. By one of the intermediaries in the channels. Okay? So let's see the different channels we have. Of course, sometimes we have short channels, short distribution channels, and sometimes we have long distribution channels. It depends on different factors. So we have here 4 models or 4 types of distribution channels. Channel number 1 is from manufacturer to consumer. When you have the product sold from the manufacturer directly to the consumer. Like what? Farmers, when farmers sell vegetables, sell meat, sell to final consumers. Okay? This is from the manufacturer to the consumers. This is an example. Okay? This is the shortest distribution channel, from manufacturer directly to the consumer. Okay? The second one, from manufacturer to retailer to consumer. Okay, let's take them here. So from manufacturer to the consumer. This is the first one. The second one, tell me, from manufacturer to retailer to consumer, like in car manufacturing. Do we have wholesalers in the middle? No, we have from the manufacturer to the retailer to the consumer. When you go to and buy your car from one of the retailers, right? Okay, so this is an example. Okay, channel number 3, from manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. Like the Cadbury chocolate bar. Okay, you don't go directly to the producer, to the manufacturer. You don't go to the wholesaler to get a bulky quantity of chocolate because you will get fat then. So you have to go to the supermarket to get it from there, right? Okay, all right. So channel number 4, from manufacturer, and this is the longest one, manufacturer to other intermediary to the wholesaler, to the retailer, and then to the final consumer. These are the 4 channels. The last one, the other intermediary, might be an agent in another country. You are a manufacturer, okay? You are, for example, Chinese companies, okay? In order to sell their products in Egypt, in many cases, many situations, they have an agent, okay? Or they have an importer, Egyptian importer, okay? This one buys the goods, okay, and sell here to wholesaler, to retailer, to the final consumer, right? So usually the last one is when you sell your products to another country. You need to have an agent, you need to have a broker, you need to have an importer, whatever. Another intermediary who is familiar with the other country and will take the responsibility of distributing the product through the remaining members of the channel. Okay? Easy? So these are the 4 channels we have in distribution. And which one to follow? It depends on the type of the industry, depends on the type of the product itself, depends on the budget of the producer and the skills. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes the producer follows what we call disintermediation. Have you ever heard about disintermediation? They eliminate the middleman, eliminate those people in the middle, eliminate the retailer, eliminate the wholesaler, and directly sells to the final consumer, provided that they are able to do all the tasks done by the wholesaler and the retailer. If they do the transportation, then the manufacturer has to do it. If they offer credit facility, then manufacturer has to do it. Okay? So if you as a manufacturer is able to do the tasks of wholesalers and retailers, you might take the decision of disintermediation. And you have the direct relationship with your final consumers. Okay? This way, you can keep the profit margin for your own, or offer the product at a lower price so that you can compete. One of the alternatives. Okay? You can choose whatever. And at the same time, you can keep your image the way you look for or dream of. Because when you have different members in the channel, you have the risk of having your image might be in a negative situation because your product is transferred from one member to another, okay? So when you select the channel, you need to keep in your mind your image as a manufacturer, your brand name, and all these things. To whom should you give your product until it reaches the final consumer? Okay? And an example of the disintermediation is the e-commerce. When we have just some websites on the internet, some manufacturers offer their products through websites and just they conduct what we call the e-commerce, right? Okay, this is directly from manufacturer to the final consumer, right? Okay. Easy? Okay. So you as a marketer need to make a decision about this. Here, they define what we mean by wholesalers. I know that you know them because we went through them. Let's read it quickly. Wholesalers are businesses that buy products from producers and sell them onto retailers. These are the wholesalers. Buy from producers and sell to the retailers. These are the wholesalers. They perform a number of actions in distribution channel, such as storage, transportation, information gathering, and some promotional activities. Sometimes the wholesaler does this for this reason. I'm telling you, when you conduct the disintermediation, you as a producer or manufacturer, you need to be able to do all the tasks, take the hassle of all these tasks, and do them well. It's your decision then, okay? If you have the capability of doing this. Retailers are businesses that buy from producers or wholesalers and sell on to consumers. These are the retailers. Buy from wholesalers or producers and then sell to the final consumers. Okay, when we talk about retailing, you have to keep in your mind that we have some conditions or criteria of successful retailing. Successful retailing. They depend on what? Convenient location of a store. Now, a retailer, a supermarket should be in a convenient location, okay? A location that will attract people, okay? The right kind of goods offered in the right quantities. When you go and you do not find your favorite or favorable chocolate bar, what will you do? You found just one bar and you need another bar for your friend. What will you do then? Okay, you will not feel happy. You will not feel happy. So in order, when you as a marketer decide to have a retailer in your distribution channel, make sure that this retailer has a convenient location. Make sure that this retailer is able to offer the right kind of product with the right quantity, the right level of service for the type of good and outlet service. Sometimes when you go to Metro or Alpha, you need some guidance. A lot of products are there and you don't know on which shelf you will find your product, right? So you need a guide with you. So you can find some people taking you through shelves and saying, yes, ma'am, here you can find what you are looking for. This is one of the services, right? To finish your transaction quickly, pay, and getting everything packaged to your car, all these are services. Are they able to do that or not? Okay? All right? So the image of the store. What about the image of the store? Okay? The image of because this store includes a different products, not only your own product as a manufacturer, other products are there. So what about the image of the store? And the atmosphere of the shop in terms of air conditioning, lighting, all these things. People feel comfortable when they go there and taking tours inside the place. You understand this? So you as a marketer, if you decided on having a retailer in your distribution channel, then select this distributor or this retailer wisely, keeping in your mind all these conditions or criteria. Okay? Easy? Okay. So when we talked about distribution channels, we defined what we mean by distribution channels, right? And we defined, we covered 4 types of distribution channels, from the shortest one to the longest one, okay? And finally, we covered the criteria of good or successful retailing. Okay? All right. The last P is about marketing communication or promotion, what we call promotion. So products, pricing, place or distribution, and finally, marketing communications, which is promotion. So that if you get it in the exam, marketing communication, it is promotion. It is. Okay? We call it promotional mix. Promotional mix. Okay. All right. So marketing communication is not a straightforward one-way process from marketers to potential customers. Both the sender who is the sender, the business, which would like to sell its product, send messages to customers to convince them with their products, okay? So the sender and the receiver of that message are actively involved. Both of them are actively involved. You as a business need to send a very clear message to customers, and customers should receive this message clearly so that they can react in the way that you plan for, okay, as a business. All right, marketers often follow the so-called AIDA approach. What is the AIDA approach? When we talk about marketing communications, this approach suggests that good marketing communication should go through the sequence of stimulating awareness, interest, desire, and action on the part of consumers. So when you do your promotion as a business, what do you look for? What are you trying to do or to achieve? You try to raise the consumer's awareness of the product, of your product, interest in your product, right? To make them aware of the product, to make them interested in the product, to make them desire or to raise their desire, to create a want inside them to get the product, okay? And then to lead them to take action and come and buy the product. This is what we care about in communication, in marketing communications. Why do we promote the product? Because we need to do this. At the end, I'd like this action to be taken to come and buy, right? Okay, all right. So accordingly, we have what is called the promotional mix. The promotional mix, which is advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, and public relations. How many elements in the promotional mix? 4 elements. Advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, and public relations. Excellent. Okay. Let's take them one by one. Advertising. Have you ever heard about advertising? Okay, of course, advertising in Egypt especially are very, we are very interesting, right? Full of songs, music, and all these things. If they are on TV or radio, okay? Usually we have creative advertisements and commercials. So advertising, it is very important to understand what we mean by advertising. Advertising is impersonal way of promoting the product, impersonal, which means that you are not directing this from you to a specific person. It is impersonal. It is there, and everybody listens to this advertising and watches it. Okay? So it is impersonal and communicates with a large number of people through a paid media channel. Whatever the paid media channel is, a commercial on TV, radio station, magazines, newspapers, whatever. Okay? But they communicate with a large number of people. They might be part of your segment, they might not part of your segment, right? Target segment, I mean. Okay. How many types of advertising do we have? Almost 4, yes. We have the first one is the pioneering advertising. What do you mean by pioneering advertising? Pioneering advertising is used in the early stages of the product life cycle. Now we introduced the product. So I'd like to raise the awareness of people. You remember when I told you when we introduced the product, still people are not aware of the product, very few people are aware of it. How to raise the awareness of people of this product? Through pioneering advertising. Okay, so when business want to achieve consumer awareness and interest, now we would like to raise the awareness of our new product. Okay, so we do what we call the pioneering advertising. The pioneering advertising. Okay, then we have the competitive advertising. What is it? Happens at a later stage in the product life cycle, at the end. Okay, when it is necessary for businesses to distinguish their product from that offered by their competitors. So this is the competitive advertising. And one of its forms is what's called the comparative advertising. And this is actually in Egypt and Arab countries are not available. Here in Egypt, you can find them bringing a detergent, saying, for example, Ariel or Persil, and getting another detergent which does not have a name, unknown. Okay, right? And they say our detergent is better because it cleans better, it is less expensive and so on, but they do not name the unknown one, right? Okay, it's white, we don't know which one is this, like that. So it's not the typical comparative advertising. In the States, they have the comparative advertising. They say that Toyota is better than Ford. Why? okay, they say it like that. This is the comparative advertising then, because Toyota has 1, 2, 3, 4. Ford has these negative aspects, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are better. Okay? They are trying to explain and distinguish their product from other competitors' products. Okay? And this is allowed abroad, but not here. Abroad, it's there. Okay? This is the type of, usually it is at the end of the life cycle, because you remember when I told you declining occurs when the market is full of the products and most of people already got the product, and some substitutes are there. Some competitors are trying to offer similar products. So at this stage, we need to offer the competitive advertising. Okay? All right, to get a longer life cycle of the product. The third one, reminder or reinforcement advertising. Reminder, sometimes you need to remind the consumer with the product. You just remind them. And you reinforce their purchase decision. You try to reassure that you made the right decision. This is our product is good, and when you bought our product, you made the right choice, and so on. This is the aim of the reminder or reinforcement advertising, designed to operate after consumers have already purchased the product, to reassure them of the product's benefits and that they made the right purchase decision. This is the aim of such an advertising. Okay? The last one is advertising attempting to improve the general image of the organization. It's about the whole organization. The whole organization. In such an advertising, you find, for example, Procter & Gamble talking about its different products, different Ariel, Pampers, for example, all its products. They're talking about different products because they care about the whole image of the company itself. It's not about specific product. Okay? All right? All right. These are the 4 types of advertising. Easy? Okay, can you, when you go home, you can watch TV. This is studying, by the way. Go watch TV, listen to radio, and look for different advertisements in magazines and newspapers and on the internet or whatever, and just try to classify each ad or commercial you get. Okay, and come back and tell me in our activity hour. Okay, the pioneering one is the one that offers this or about this product X, and the reinforcement one is about product Y, and so on. Tell me, try to just classify a number of commercials and tell me, did you find pioneering? Did you find competitive did you find, and so on. Okay? All right. All right. So this is the first element in the promotional mix. Promotional mix, which is part of the marketing mix. Do not forget. All right. The second one, the second element in the promotional mix is the sales promotions. The sales promotions refers to the specific element of the promotional mix which tries to create, this element tries to create a temporary increase in sales by offering customers an incentive to buy the product. So the sales promotion tries to get higher sales in the short term, like temporary, something just to increase sales for the time being. Okay, how to do this? We have different forms: money-based promotion, product-based promotion, and gift, prize, and merchandise-based promotion. Three main types of promotions. Okay, the money-based promotion, easy to implement, very common. Cashback, they give you your cash back while you are paying on the cashier. They give you an amount of cash back. Immediate price reduction. While you are paying, they reduce the price for you at a point of sale, and some coupons and so on. So it's all deals with cash reduction. They pay your cash back. They reduce the price for you at the cashier and so on. So this, when you know that, okay, this unit has this reduction or cash payout, you might go and buy another to get another 2 units from the shelf.
What does it mean by cashback?
Cashback, the refund, give you your cash back. Like if you, for example, the product is for $10, and you are paying, they give you, out of the 10 you paid already, they give you 2 or 3 cash back. Okay? The product-based promotion, less likely to have to cheapen product image. Okay, this one is likely to cheapen the product image. When you go and buy and you find cash back and all these things, this should not be done with the prestigious or luxury products. It shouldn't be done like that, okay? Because it will give negative image of the product, okay? But product-based promotion, less likely to cheapen the product image, less likely. Here, the product-based promotion is when you buy the product, you might get extra for free. Like, for example, you got a unit and you can take extra unit for free, for example. This is what we mean by product-based promotion. Okay, buy one and get one for free. Free samples. All these are forms of what we call product-based promotion. You know Pizza Plus? Pizza Plus? Okay. Yeah, 1 and 1 for free. This is their all the way, their approach. 1 and 1 for free. So if Dawood would like to invite me, for lunch, he will not take me to Pizza Hut, he will take me to Pizza Plus. Okay, because he will pay just for 1 piece of pizza, right? And the other one for free. Okay? All right?
Then go there always.
Yes. All right. So this is the product-based promotion. One of the examples is Pizza Plus. All right. Gift, prize, and merchandise-based promotion. Gifts in return for proof of purchase. If you would like, okay, you remember Ariel, when Ariel take tours to different houses and homes in Egypt. Do you use Ariel? Yes, we use Ariel. Do you have evidence that you use Ariel? Yeah, we have the packages, empty packages. Okay, and this in return for a prize, right? Like it might be a golden pound, it might be a trip for one of the places or whatever. Okay, so this is what we mean by gift, prize, and merchandise-based promotion. Okay, you provide the company with the proof that you used the product, then in return for the gift or the prize. Okay? Competitions and so on. This way you can encourage customers in the short term to buy the product and increase sales. Okay? If your product proved to be high quality and good product, customers may continue to buy your product in the future. Okay? So now we covered advertising and we covered sales promotion. More elements in the promotional mix. Personal selling. Personal selling is when you send a sales representative to the customer. A sales representative to the customer. So it's a direct relationship between the buyer and the seller. Okay? It's good because it gives the sales representative the chance to explain the benefits of the product to the customer, and the customer at the same time is able to and has the chance to ask different questions about the product. Okay? The problem is that it is expensive. It is the most expensive tool in the promotional mix to have the personal selling. Usually, it is used with high technical products, okay? And you know what? It's very famous and popular in the pharmaceutical industry. Usually, pharmaceutical companies sending their sales representative who are pharmacists to different clinics, to doctors in different clinics and hospitals. You know, now you are waiting, going as a patient, la qaddar Allah, and waiting for your doctor to go, and you find the sales representative of the pharmaceutical company fighting to go before you without waiting for his turn. A very bad image, by the way. Do not do that. If you are a marketeer, please tell them don't do that. Wait for your turn. Okay? All right. Then they go to the doctor and try to convince him or her with the features of the drug or the medicine that the company sells, the side effects. They discuss everything. Okay? And it's a very good way with doctors. Why? Because they are very busy. They don't have time to watch advertising or anything. And this thing should not be impersonal. It should be personal. Okay? And if the doctor is convinced, they prescribe this medicine or drug to their patients. Okay? All right. So this is one of the examples of personal selling. A salesperson talks personally to a potential customer, finds out about their needs and explains the benefits of the product. It is a powerful marketing communication tool, okay? However, it tends to be the most expensive. This is the personal selling. Good? Okay. The last one is the public relations. The public relations, PR. What is it? It's about creating a good image for the business in the minds of its stakeholders. We try to create good image about the product in the minds of the stakeholders, not only customers, but the community, the government, the competitors, the suppliers, everybody. The public relations will be viewed and watched by everybody. How? It involves creating and placing favorable news stories. We post different stories about the company, about the success of the company, about how friendly the company is with the environment, how healthy its products are. Okay? You got that? So you get somebody else talking about your product and your history as a company. He might be a journalist, a TV presenter. So when they talk about your product and your company, they give, it's a kind of advertising in the shape of news, right? For this reason, it is more credible for consumers, because consumers at that time, when they listen to different objective opinions from journalists, from TV media, from whatever, they know that this is news. They are not trying to convince you to go and buy. It's not like advertising, okay? But still, when you as a consumer listen to this and watch this, you will be interested. Now you have the awareness, you have the interest, you have the desire, and you go and buy. Because this company is a very successful one. They offer very high quality product, healthy product, they are friendly to the environment, they, and so on. And everybody's saying that, why not to buy the product? You got that? So public relations is a very powerful tool or element in the promotional mix. You got that? Okay, so PR operates with word of mouth, press and TV news stories, and personal recommendations. This is about the PR. Good public relations can be more effective than advertising as it is free, it is for free. Because the journalist or the TV people they will talk about your company for free because they believe that the audience will be interested in this. Okay, so it's for free, and thus saves on the promotional budget. This way, you promote your product for free, no money. Okay, not like the advertising. Further, it is more credible in the eyes of consumers because they feel that you are not pushing them to buy like we do in the advertising. No, it's objective opinion. So everybody's talking positively about the company. Why not to go and buy? So when you be marketeers, make sure that you have the public relations in your marketing, in your promotional mix, because it is very important. Finally, which element to use in promotion? Which element? Should we use the advertising, the selling promotions, the personal selling, or the public relations? You can use all of them. You can use 2 of them. You can use 3 of them. You can use only 1. It depends on the type of the product, the nature of the industry or sector, the target segment itself. Okay, sometimes your target segment does not watch the TV. Yeah, they are very busy people. They will never watch TV. So even if you would like to advertise in, for example, medical magazines if they are doctors. For example, you got that? And so on. So it depends. So the promotional mix is a very important decision made by the marketeer. Which elements to use in our promotional mix? Okay? All right. And here we have the ethical issues in marketing communications. The ethical issues in marketing communications in the promotion, we mean. We have 3 main points. Marketers should not deceive consumers or make misleading claims about any aspects of the marketing mix. Do not deceive the consumers. Please, do not do that. Okay? So when you send them messages through advertising or through any of the promotional elements, be reliable. Be frank. Sometimes even when you overly enlarge the package of the product, this will reflect that it's with a larger quantity or something like that. So people might go and buy this because they think that it's with large size. But actually, it's only a packaging issue. And when you open it, nothing is there. So do not do that. Okay? All right. Criticism of contemporary marketing communications are that they are often very intrusive and that consumers find it difficult to avoid them. Sometimes they push you to watch the advertising or the commercial, like the pop-up. While you are on the internet, pop-ups all the time, pop-ups from different commercials or advertising through the internet. So you have to watch it. This is unethical. Do not do that. You can, as a consumer, you can't avoid. Okay? So this is another thing. On a broader and societal scale, marketing communications have been criticized for creating artificial wants and reinforcing materialistic values. Because every day they offer you something new, they try to create wants and desires inside customers. Still, customers have their own products and everything is working, but every day they try to reinforce the desire inside customers to be more materialistic and buy everything available in the market. Okay, so this is another issue. Okay, in promotional mix. All right. Here we have just before going to this point, which is the marketing services, which is our last point in this session. I would like to summarize here the marketing mix for physical products. Here we have the first, the marketing mix for physical products is 4 P's, right? The first P is what? No, I'm not talking here. The marketing mix. Products. Okay. Products. Then the price. Pricing. Place, which is distribution. Promotion, which is communication, right? Or promotion. Please, this is the marketing mix. Please distinguish between marketing mix and promotional mix. If you have a question in the exam asking you to explain the marketing mix, then you need to talk about product, pricing, place or distribution, and promotion or communication. If the question is about promotional mix, so it's only one part of the marketing mix, right? Which is this, which are advertising, right? What else? Sales promotion. What else? Personal selling, right? And public PR, public relations. So this is the promotional mix. Differentiate between the marketing mix and the promotional mix. Marketing mix includes 4 elements for physical products, 4 elements, including the marketing communication or marketing promotion. The promotion or the communication includes the promotional mix. Okay? So the marketing mix is product, pricing, place or distribution, and communication. The promotional mix is part of the communication, which is advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relations, right? And in pricing, we have 3 main strategies: cost-based, competition-based, and customer-based. In product, when we talk about product, we have the meaning, which is the bundle of benefits, and we have the 3 levels of benefits. We have the product life cycle, and we have the new development, or the development of new products. Right? Okay? In distribution, we have 4 types of channels. And in each one, we have some ethical issues to discuss. Easy? Easy? Okay. All right. The last point in this session is about the marketing services. Do you think that there is a difference between services and physical products? When the company is specialized in services, it's different from companies specialized in offering or selling physical products. What is the difference between a service and a physical product? A service and a physical product. The first difference is that services are intangible. It means that you can't touch them. You don't have a physical shape. Services are intangible, okay? But physical products are tangible. You can't touch them, okay? Answer me.
Yes.
Okay. The second difference is services are produced and consumed at the same time. Services are produced and consumed at the same time. Now, hairdresser is offering a service or a product? Service. Okay. Can you ask the hairdressers to get your hair cut until you go to him? Of course. Answer me. Of course not, right? So the service is being produced and consumed at the same time, right? Okay? So you can't do the service, he can't do this service for you until you go there to him. Okay. This last point? Marketing services in total? Okay. Here I'm talking about the difference between services and physical products. Service and a physical product. A service like transportation, like the hairdresser's service when he or she gets your hair cut, okay? These are the services. Physical products are physical products, mobile phones, TVs, cars, whatever. So is there a difference between services and physical products? This is the question. Your colleagues said yes, and actually I'm convinced with this, and your book takes the same approach, okay? Some differences are there between services and physical products. What are the differences? The physical product is tangible, can be touched, but the service can't be touched, it is intangible. This is the first difference. Services are intangible, okay? This is the first thing. The second thing is that services are produced and consumed at the same time. And for example, I asked them, can you go ask the hairdresser before going to him to get your hair cut until you go to him? They laughed and they said, no, of course not. So which means that this service should be produced and consumed at the same time. The service is produced and consumed at the same time, okay? Like transportation, it's produced for you and consumed at the same time. When you take a cab or taxi, he is producing the service for you, the transportation service, and you are using the service at the same time. So they are on at the same time, consumption and production of the service. The quality of services varies depending on the persons providing them. Like the quality of the service varies. It depends on your hairdresser. Is he qualified? Does he have the skill? Okay, it differs from one to another, right? A cook. When you go to a restaurant, it differs. The meal will differ. The taste of the meal will differ from one chef to another, right? So usually in services, people is one of the main elements that will differentiate the service offered, the quality of the service itself, okay? Services can't be produced in advance and stored for later sale or use. They can't be produced in advance and they can't be stored. Now, a train started its trip with 2 empty seats, for example. Okay. Now, the company lost the return from these 2 seats, or they can stock this until the next trip. You understand me? Now, one of the businesses produces physical products, and for example, they produced 100 units, they sold 90, then still they can keep the 10 units remaining on hand, right? They can sell it at any time in the future, okay? But for services, now a train started its trip, okay, with 2 empty seats in the train. Can we stock these 2 empty seats until the next trip? Or we lost the return already? We lost it already, of course, sure. Okay, you understand that? Okay, these are the main 4 differences between services and physical products. Accordingly, and because of these differences, marketers decided to have different marketing mix for services. Okay, it's not different, but they extended the marketing mix of services to include extra 3 elements. So it includes the product, it includes the pricing, the distribution, the communication, and people, processes, and physical evidence. These are the 3 extra elements we have in the marketing mix of services, and we call this the 7 Ps. You remember? We covered this, again, we covered this in session 6 of book 1, the 7 Ps. We said for physical products, we have the 4 Ps. For services, we have the 7 Ps. Why? Because of these differences between the physical products and the services. This is the reason, okay? When we said that it differs from the service quality differs from people based on the people who are providing the service, this means that people is one of the important elements, right? So this marketing mix for services is extended by further elements: people, processes, and physical evidence. People, for example, in restaurant, the chef. In hairdressers, the person who is doing the service for you, okay? It makes a difference. Who you as a marketer should decide on this person, on the skills, qualifications before hiring him or her, okay? As a marketer, because this is very important. Part of the marketing mix is a decision about people when we talk about services, about people who will be providing the service. Processes, the processes through which we will be offering the service itself. The process of cooking, the process of doing the transportation, the process itself in general. Okay? How to decide on the process itself. How to decide on the process. Sometimes you go to some restaurants, it's help yourself. Some others are classic way of offering the food. You wait and the waiter come, serve you and all these things, right? Time. Okay. The last element is the physical evidence. The physical evidence is the physical aspects used in the service. When we offer a service or provide a service, still we use some tools. We use some physical things. Like when you go to a restaurant is a service. It's not only about the meal you eat, it's about the outing. It's about the place you enjoy, right? The atmosphere. So this is a service. So the building, the place you sit in, if it is clean or not, right? So this physical evidence is another important element in the marketing mix when you offer services or you provide services. So when we talk about marketing mix for physical products, there are 4 P's: product, price, promotion, and place or distribution and communication. When we talk about the marketing services, we talk about 7 P's, okay? So we add to these 4, we add people, processes, and physical evidence. You know why? Because of these differences, the 4 differences between physical products and services, okay? Easy? All right. Questions? Any questions? Why? This means that you understood everything. Or you would like to run away from class. Okay. So do you think that we achieved the aims of this session? Is it easy? If you have any questions about this, about pricing strategies or approaches, about marketing mix itself, totally about promotional mix, you will be able to answer? And in practice, you understand your role as a marketer in this marketing mix, how important it is? Okay, so this is the first part of our class. Okay? All right, now we will break for 15 or 30 minutes? 30? 30 minutes and come back, 30 minutes. Okay, to come and finish book for today, we have to. Inshallah. Okay, see you after 30 minutes. Thank you very much.